first of all, Merry Christmas. Obviously, it's Christmas. That's why I'm wearing my antlers. I wore these antlers to the movie theater because it's Christmas, and I wear these antlers everywhere on Christmas. So, I try to go see a movie usually on Christmas. So this year's movie was Denzel Washington's adaptation of August Wilson's Fences, starring Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. And so I had not seen a stage version of this before, so I can't say how it compares. Other than I've seen there's a great video floating around of Side by Side, where you see the big Like You monologue, and with both James Earl Jones in the original Broadway version doing the monologue and Denzel doing the monologue, and you can compare and contrast acting. But I hadn't seen the whole play before. So the screenplay is by August Wilson. He died in 2005, but he wrote the screenplay prior to that, with the intention of Denzel playing this role again. And so this film came out, and I thought it was quite good. I think the main complaint that can be made against it, and I've seen this in many reviews as well as almost everyone in my theater where I watched the film, that it feels very stagey. So in that, this is a very monologue-heavy play that mostly takes place in the backyard of this house, and then a little bit in the house, and then at one point in a bar. And that's the trash truck. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Trash. What do they call those? Because he's a garbage man. Garbage truck. There we go. So that's about it. It feels very much like this scene took place here, this scene took place here, this scene took place here, and you can change the set very easily. And he opens it up a little bit. There's a few places where he goes outside of the main set, and there's like a couple of montage-y things. But otherwise, it very much feels stagey. And that's unfortunate. That said, the acting is so good, and the play itself, obviously, is amazing. Won a Pulitzer Prize, so the writing is so good, and the acting is at such a high caliber that it almost makes up for the fact that it feels so stagey, because you're so engrossed in these performances. And like any debate about like who's the greatest film actress today, like if you aren't thinking Viola Davis, you are wrong. She's so good. Like you give her any role and she'll just destroy it. Like they say, I would watch her reading the phone book. She's so amazing. I also really enjoyed the performance from the actor playing their son, Jovan Adepo. He was great. And also, where is it? Russell Hornsby, who's playing Denzel's elder son, he was in Something New. He's got a really small role in Something New, but he's very memorable. So when he popped up, I was like, that's the guy from Something New. So that's always fun. This film's set in the 50s. If you're not familiar with the plot, it's set in the late 50s, and it's part of August Wilson's Century Cycle, where he has these plays set in Pittsburgh from the 10s through the 90s. And each one sort of has to do with the family unit and race relations at that time in Pittsburgh. So this one has to do with the patriarch of this family, Troy, played by Denzel, who is married to Viola. They have a son. Troy also has an older son. He's trying to get a promotion to be the first driver of a garbage truck in the city. He's also dealing with issues at home. His son is good enough in both academics and football to go off and get a football scholarship, but he doesn't want him to have it because he's had issues breaking in from the Negro Leagues to Major League Baseball, but that was 20 years earlier, and everyone's like, the times have changed, and he just doesn't want to understand that society changes, and maybe society doesn't change. I don't know. That's sort of for you to decide. And it deals sort of the one aspect of it that I'm still trying to wrap my head around is its treatment of toxic masculinity, and it definitely presents it as not great, but the final scene sort of uh, takes any of the critique that was in some of the other scenes of toxic masculinity and sort of diffuses it, and not, it doesn't quite condone Troy's toxic masculinity, but it definitely doesn't do much to really criticize it and say like, yo, this isn't how you should raise children. um, so I'm not sure quite how I feel about that. And I also, as great as Viola Davis is in it, this is the play clearly written by a man with a man's point of view, and so I'd like to see more from that character and why she makes these decisions that she does, because there's a lot of these monologues explaining, you know, there's sort of like fight monologues where Troy will say something and she'll respond to like his accusations with her monologue about how she feels, but it never quite feels as what's the word I'm looking for? It never quite feels like a true revelation of her inner thoughts. Um, so I just sort of feel like there could have been more to explore the feminine side of dealing with such a toxic male. And unfortunately, that wasn't really Wilson's story he was telling, so that's not really what is done with that character. Um, but this is such a great cast. It's like every performance, including there's a little girl in the last scene, and she like will steal your heart. She's so good. Like everybody from Denzel down to this little girl are like so good. There's not a flaw in any of these performances. So this is definitely an actor's film, I think, and an actor's play. So you should check it out. It opened today, and then it's playing in limited today, and opens wider in January, I think. So yeah, you should check this film out. This is Denzel Washington's Fences. It just opened, and I recommend it.